What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Scarlet and Great here, Ohio State Football Talk with Scarlet and Great on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, I know a little bit different background, a little bit different camera angle, technical difficulties, meaning somebody forgot to charge their main camera battery. So we're going to stick with this angle today. So thank you so much again for joining us. The reaction on the channel has been great. Last few weeks, well, I think we're 4,200 subscribers. I don't know where we were to start this season. A couple hundred, I think. Thank you to Chat Sports. Thank you, Florida Corey, Shane Larson, and all you guys, especially, that helped the channel grow. Today, we are going to unpack the newest hires on the defensive staff. Jim Bob Somebody and Ray from down and over the fields coming from Oklahoma State with Jim Knowles. We're going to talk about the new hires on the defensive staff. Go ahead and like this video if you are thrilled about these new hires of Jim Bob Clement and some of the quality control guys coming over. So again, please go ahead and like this video if you love the new hires at Ohio State, completely revamping the defensive staff. Without further ado, I am going to go ahead and bring in the man of the hour, the ladies' pick, and the men's regret, Mr. Florida Corey. Floco, what's up, man?
The men's regret?
Yes, don't question it.
I question everything you do.
They regret letting you around their wives and daughters.
Yes, because I am that kind of person.
Yeah, well, you just can't help it. You can't help the reaction you elicit from the ladies. Corey, have you read the analytics? The average viewer of this channel is a 22-year-old female, and I know why, and I appreciate you for it. That's where the money comes. That's where the growth of the channel comes. And speaking of growth of the channel, people want to talk Buckeye football. These 22-year-old ladies want to talk Buckeye football out here, Corey. So what do you got for us? Ohio State continuing to Ryan Day's continue to write checks and bring in new people.
Yeah, man, it's Mike Gundy is going to have a bounty on.
It's like, what did I do to you, man?
Ryan Day's like,
or what's it to Jim Knowles? Like, dude, I thought we were. I mean, I was cool with you leaving. I understood why, but I didn't know.
Funny thing is like
stab me in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jim Knowles comes aboard and Gundy makes that "born on third base" comment, and Ryan Day goes, "Oh, okay. I'll show you how long I've been on third base."
I don't even want your coaches. I'm taking them anyway because I can.
He's probably like, so he just went ahead and took all the GAs, including Coy McFarland, who we'll talk about a little bit, was an up and comer, and now there's a rumor about a new one with possibly the defensive line coach, who I think was the play caller for the Notre Dame game and might have been in line to be the next defensive coordinator there. And Ryan Day, hold on a minute. Before you become the defensive coordinator at a P5 school, why don't you possibly come here and maybe be an assistant to Larry Johnson for a year and be the heir apparent?
And that is a huge thing. If Jim Knowles believes he's a great defensive line mind, right?
By the way, this isn't still in the rumor stage. I just want people to know this isn't like done deal.
Yeah, we saw it from the Twitter account, who also called McFarland the other guys coming over. So it's like, well, I guess maybe.
Well, even Buckeye beat writers are saying they can't confirm it, but they're hearing rumors. So
yeah, this is important because we've said for a while now these Larry Johnson retirement rumors circulate. It's good to build the heir apparent so that's a seamless transition, right? When he does phase out. So Joe Bob Clement, Corey, this name just makes you, when you texted it to me, I'm like, huh? Are you making a joke or like, what?
It's like the guy from Varsity Blues.
It's kind of what it sounds like. It, but hopefully it plays. You gotta wonder how it plays with the inner city recruiting, but hopefully we'll make do.
Tavares, my name's Joe Bob.
Kate Stover will like him, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Kate Stover
and Carson Winsman or Hinsman, or they'll love him.
But maybe. I was going to say, Corey, isn't this the seamless transition, though, if this does go down, what we've been asking for with Larry Johnson?
Yeah, we thought it would be like with Randall Joyner or somebody like that. But this guy doesn't have a bad background at all at Oklahoma State, and his defensive lines are notoriously really good at sacking the quarterback, and they're really good at tackles for loss as a big. They're very disruptive. I don't know what he is as a recruiter, but I think at Ohio State he'll become a better recruiter. Obviously, a pretty young guy. He's been coaching at Oklahoma State since 2013.
Okay.
Coached at his alma mater, Kansas State, before that, and did really well there and moved on. So I think it says a lot to the brand if instead of becoming possibly the deep now, maybe he's willing to do this because they overlooked him for defensive coordinator. I don't know what it is, what the story is between him and Gundy, but imagine that they were thinking about him for defensive coordinator, and all of a sudden he pops on over to Ohio State. I'd rather be the assistant than the heir apparent for the defensive line coach.
Yeah, apparently Mike didn't pull the trigger on that.
No, I don't think so.
Because I know which one I would take, and I'm a Buckeye fan, but you kind of know where things fall.
I mean, he might be interviewing Kerry Combs, so.
He's like, oh yeah, I'll show you, right?
Yeah, I'll show you. Like Notre Dame got us, man. We lost out Washington.
Yeah, that would have done. For those of you who didn't see that, an article was written like Buckeyes lose defensive coach Al Washington to Notre Dame, and I'm like, lost to?
Yeah, and defensive line coach. The funny part, I had a Oklahoma State fan text me or message me or something about, is this why you might be getting Joe Bob? It's because you lost your D-line coach. I'm like, well, first of all, he wasn't a D-line coach. He was a linebacker coach. So that headline is all kinds of wrong. And second,
Notre Dame hired a free agent. Is what
they hired
did.
A free agent. Yeah,
they hired a guy that was no longer a coach here.
Yeah, he was not being retained. It wasn't by his choice.
Right. Yeah. There's some violent struggle when Notre Dame won.
Exactly. I mean, Notre Dame did try to come for Brian Hartline, and Hartline laughed at him and said, "No, I'm good." So
I'm glad about that. So Corey, the
difference is we actually wanted to keep him.
We did want to keep Brian Hartline. With Joe Bob Clement coming to Ohio State, we have the heir apparent. Hopefully, we have Mr. McFarland coming over to, I guess, help Jim Knowles coach the linebackers and fill that Al Washington gap in the linebacker room. And McFarland's a young guy, not a lot on him. GA, right? I believe.
GA, yeah, he's a young guy, GA, but apparently the Oklahoma State really liked him as a GA and an up and coming coach, and
that's awesome because it's like hopefully every young guy wants to move up, but these two like have a place to go. Like if Knowles gets hired away or something happens, you can promote from within, which is an awesome building block for the Buckeyes.
And I wouldn't mind a hiring from within if it comes like a disciple of a guy who gets hired as a head coach or something like that. Not the guy we fired. Like if Knowles stinks and we fire him. No, I want if like Knowles like, hey, dude, I do a head coaching job. I just can't turn down. Okay, we got Coy McFarland, we got Joe Bob Clements here. We got guys here.
Right, they can climb on up the food chain.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing. Building that farm system within the coaching ranks is a good thing.
And I'm not like I'm all about Jim Knowles. Corey, can I point out, though, the possible – this is what gives me hesitancy. And, I'm not going to say I'm not on the train on the Knowles wagon because I am. But this is what this just gives me pause, right? Jim Knowles at Oklahoma State, right, 3 years. So apparently he's gotten to know these guys. But I could just look down the road, and if this went bad, I guess I'm just wondering, like, did we allow Jim Knowles to just go grab guys he knew and was comfortable with at Oklahoma State standards and not guys that were just fantastic coaches? Because what are the odds that Oklahoma State just has these three defensive mastermind gurus chilling and nobody knows about them, and then Ohio State's like, yeah, let's go get them? I guess I just am hesitant. Did we let Jim Knowles go get a couple guys who were kind of low on the totem pole at a school like Oklahoma State that, nobody else is beating their door down? So I guess in 2 or 3 years, if we look and say this was a disaster, I guess we would know why, because we kind of just let him pick who he's comfortable with. But I do appreciate the fact that I want him to be comfortable with the guys he's coaching with.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment where you're like, okay, if we find out something went wrong, it's because we let him hire his buddies. But remember, guys like Joe Bob were Joe Bob. I can't even get used to saying that. Joe Bob was there.
Sounds wrong every time you say it.
Does.
I keep looking down and go, Is this real? Is it not
like
Jim Bob, Joe Bob?
Yeah, his mom didn't love him, I guess. Guys like I'm just kidding. That guy would kill me. But Joe Bob and Coy, I mean, Joe Bob, for example, was there long before uh, Jim Knowles was at Oklahoma State. He was there in 2013, and Jim Knowles got there in 2018. So Knowles obviously didn't have to bring him. He didn't. He's not married to the guy. He was actually forced to work with him almost. So but he made it work, and they had a defensive line that was disruptive. Together, they had a defensive line that was disruptive, and it made sense. And they got guys on first team Big 12 on defensive line consistently year after year. It seemed. I just say it's just maybe it's somebody he's comfortable with, but maybe it's somebody who just understands the system. Zach Smith did say he's going to try to bring people over who know his system.
That's true.
And Coy McFarland being a big one who can help him with the linebackers, because Knowles being a defensive coordinator he's going to be coaching linebackers as well, but he can't do that and be the defensive coordinator. It's putting a lot on his plate. So he gets a guy like Coy McFarland, who I judging by the Oklahoma State fan response to losing him, I'm very excited about the guy. So because how often are you like, dang it, we lost to GA? I mean, imagine Ohio State loses Keenan Bailey, an assistant to wide receiver coach, to Brian Hartline. We're going to be sad about it because we know he's a good coach. Yeah, but we also understand that he deserves to be a wide receiver coach somewhere. But he's not going to do it here with Brian Hartline here, obviously.
Yeah. So I guess the defense will have no excuse on why they couldn't quite get Jim Knowles' system down, right?
Yeah, it's plenty of guys not coming in who can teach it. Yeah, I mean,
right. And Larry Johnson, I think, is flexible enough to go. Look, if Jim Knowles has defensive linemen that just get after it, or if Jim Knowles looks and sees the talent and he says, yeah, we're going to let him maybe rumble a little more than I would have, where I let my linebackers kind of make the plays, or vice versa. I think both of them will kind of be on the same page of, who needs to do the playmaking. Yeah. This is not probably a game-wrecking defensive line, although if JTT and Jack Sawyer step up, it could be. So I'm sure they'll play that appropriately. That would be the only thing that I could see wasn't a great fit because it was Larry Johnson. You know what I mean? But because Larry has earned the right to say, hey, I like this better. You know what I mean? But I think it should mesh well. Larry's worked for several different defensive coordinators before.
He's been good all the time. So I mean, the thing is, I can't imagine a guy like Jim, who, for all intents and purposes, people say that he's a really likable, easy to work with guy, would come in and look at Larry freaking Johnson and go, "Dude, you're gonna do it my way, or you get the heck out of here, man. I don't even want your opinion. No, don't speak. Don't want your opinion." I don't care how successful. I mean, come on. He's going to come in and he's going to work with Larry. He's probably excited to work with Larry Johnson, if anything. But we all know Larry's long in the tooth, and I hate to say, 70 years old. I don't know. There's always that threat of retirement every year. So
you need that transition, absolutely.
Yeah, but what is the signal if Joe Bob does come? We're going right back to that topic. But what is the signal if Joe Bob does come to Ohio State? It signals that Jim Knowles is planning to be here for long term. He wants his guy he's connected with, that he's worked with, that he had his most success with, to be the heir apparent over everybody, like a Randall Joyner, who is a Larry Johnson disciple, anybody like that. And that means he had a voice in that room and says, I want to go get my guy if Larry's not going to be here for the next 3-4 years.
Right. Yeah, it does. Maybe Jim has said, look, I don't want to move. I'm 60, whatever years old, 50, whatever years old.
56,
I don't want to move anymore. Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most high profile job I've ever had. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll coach 7 or 8 more years, 6 or 7 more years, whatever. And hang out with the grandkids. That would be awesome in my mind. But
I really think this could be Brent Venables to Ryan Day. This could be the guy just like Ryan Day can lean on defensively while he gets the offense at a high octane,
that would be amazing. That really would.
Yeah, it would be. And then he takes a job at Oklahoma.
Yeah. So I guess, the only thing is, will the backs coach, right? The defensive backs coach are not Jim Knowles guys. Mm-hmm. So can they make it mesh? But guys from different staff come together all the time. So it shouldn't be too challenging.
Do you really think Jim didn't have any say in it?
No, I think he had a say in it.
Exactly.
They're still just different, There's a filling out phase, I think. But
it's possible he went to those guys at Oklahoma State and they just said, nah, we might be in line for D coordinator here.
Or it's possible Ryan Day said, nah, I think the guys from Cincinnati are probably better. Look at the track record and the guy from Jacksonville.
What's funny is you're probably right. It's like he probably went, hey, I can go get my guy. I can go bring the whole gang back together at Ohio State. And then he's like, yeah, but I got a line on Eliano and Walton.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Jalen Ramsey in the NFL, one of the best corners in the NFL, is praising Tim Walton. Do you not want me? And he's also a Buckeye. I mean, do you really not want me to go get him? Yeah.
what do you think, Corey, about the not shiny new toy, but another weapon at the disposal that will stay at the disposal of Jim Knowles, supposedly Joe Bob Clement, and the defense, Mr. Zach Harrison returning for his senior year?
I think it's big. Look, I know he hasn't lived up to expectations, but maybe it takes. It was smart. Let's just look at it from two angles here. For himself, it was smart for him to come back.
Yes,
and I say that because
way to play the long game.
Well, he's been the victim of a less than stellar defensive scheme the last 2 years. So, I mean, it's people. I mean, we can't totally dump on him until we can see what he could do in a defensive scheme that makes sense.
He looked great as a freshman. For a freshman,
he did. He looked. You could see that explosiveness. Now it's like play containment, but you have Zach. He's a freak athlete. Why would you anyway? I remember I just watched a play against Utah where Bryson Shaw was chasing down the quarterback on that 4th and 1, and Zach Harrison outraced him to the quarterback down the field. I mean, he's that freakishly quick. No matter what, you get an athlete back like that, it's a good thing. Plus, he's experienced. He can be a leader on that team. And I just look at it and I say, look, Aiden Hutchinson, 1 year, one good year, and now he's a top 15 pick.
That's all it takes.
And Zach, if you come back, you get 12 sacks in this scheme and get maybe another, 15, 16 tackles for loss or something like that, and you're disruptive, you're a first-round pick in a heartbeat.
Yep. And it's good for him to play the long game. Like, don't go be a 3rd or 4th rounder this year.
No. And then struggle to stay in the NFL.
Right, exactly. Play the long game. Just, get a couple sacks, then opt out the rest of the season, then prepare for the draft.
Have a big first game against Notre Dame, and then be like, all right, I'm out. See?
Yeah. Play the long game, guys. Another, I guess it would be a senior by this point, returning, Mr. DeJuan Jones, and another an offensive line keep. Corey, again, the right decision. I heard, you and I privately heard, said he was 50-50, and you and I were like, nah.
This isn't a 50-50 decision.
Yeah, man, come play the long game. Come back. Develop. You're 6'8". You're going to have to learn to be nimble in your body, right, and not get out levered and et cetera. Like, really good size and strength. Let's polish it out. Polish it with Justin Fry. I mean,
that's Justin Fry's first recruiting win for Ohio State. You can say, because if he didn't have any faith, I'm sure they've talked. If he didn't have any faith,
the stud thing was the thing, the 50-50 thing. Wow. I wonder if he's like, I'm not going to.
That's an interesting thought, man.
Like, maybe I'm not, like, I get it. I'm not like where I should be, but staying here ain't going to get me there either.
Yeah.
So may as well just go make some money while I get better.
It's possible Fry's coming. I have seen your tape, dude. This is what we can do better with you. And I notice this is your strength. This is your weakness. Let's work on your weakness and make it a strength. And I mean that I consider. I mean, there's no way. I don't think he comes back if he doesn't have any faith in Justin Fry.
100%.
I consider this a first recruit. It's like, you know what? With DeJuan Jones's experience, it's like getting a high 4-star tackle and committed.
Oh yeah, especially when he's going to start. Yeah,
exactly. He's a starter. Exactly. So, and then you can move Paris to the left side and have your bookends for another year with C.J. Stroud upcoming in his money year being.
And that's huge because you and I both talked about 2023. What are you going to do for tackles? I'm a little bit cooler with some of those, with those Zens, with those Enochs, right? If they are, been in a weight room for 3-4 years and then get their chance, like then you're a little bit cooler with those projects because you had time to develop the project. So this is huge. And not to mention, like, can you imagine if he didn't come back? We'd have a lot of question marks at the outside.
Yeah, right tackle would be a question right away. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really huge. And I think this makes a much better draft style. Like, he probably told DeJuan, look, you're the first guy off the bus everybody sees. Just let me turn that into, a little bit of film, a little bit of weaponry. And like, you might be better than if you were just as good, but normal sized tackle, just because of your size. So let me develop that. So I think it's huge. Smart decision, Mr. Jones, smart decision, Mr. Harrison, and a good win, I think, for the defensive staff and for Justin Fry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see how the rumors play out with Joe Bob. I can't remember.
Every time it sounds wrong.
Yeah, we'll see what how the rumors play out with him. I think it's interesting because it's what you and I have talked about for a year now, maybe 2 years, to be honest. We've been doing this since 2017, so it's possible that it's just they finally figured it out. Like, well, we can't just have him abruptly retire. We got to know who Joel Jim is good with. So
Right.
I mean, so we'll see how the rumors play out. At least the linebackers, I think. I can't wait to see linebackers coached by Jim Knowles and Coy McFarland. I can't wait for that because I think we're going to see an ascendance in that level of play there. Finally, we're going to get back to Ohio State being the linebacking. I wouldn't say linebacker U, but they are one of the
best.
Hard
to do with only two of them on the field at once.
True. But be back to a school that produces really good linebackers. I can't wait to see Cade Stover in that Leo spot. And then I'm also excited about seeing what Zach Harrison can do in a new defensive scheme that, maybe they'll spot his unique ability and say, and Jim's probably, like, oh boy, because he sees his athleticism. I haven't coached this, So
he's got to be a kid in a candy store. So yeah, Corey, I'm interested to seeing it develop. I think it's all good news on this front. Anything else before we shut it down?
No, it's good to do a show with you. The news is coming in light right now, so it's getting harder to do what for guys like Jay Stevens who does lockdown 5 days a week. God bless you. I don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a couple shows we were thinking about doing. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. Some way too early predictions for college football playoff. Maybe we could throw Buckeye Achievers in there as well. And Corey, you had the idea about some, exposing some really bad fan takes. And maybe we may not call people by name, but still, like, there's narratives that need to be defeated. Those are some January, February type things we can do. Do have a special guest we want to bring on in February. So yeah, those are some different things that we could do. Let us know in the comments if there's anything. If we get a repeat comment about, hey, you should do this, then it's probably a good thing. But probably be like 90 of you saying 90 different things. But hey, we welcome them all.
And unless they're like just mean, because we can't take the criticism.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Don't be mean to us because that will just break our hearts. We love you guys. You should love us back. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time. As always, goodbye. God bless and go Bucks.